Katie or Ellen?
All right.
Oh, Paul, you're back.
Oh yeah, that happened. Like a bit ago.
Oh, holy shit! I didn't notice this whole bit. I didn't notice that.
Oh, was the bit gone? Did I come in late?
I think the bit might have passed, but that's good. It's good to have you back, mate. That's good.
Yeah. No, I'm good. Good to go. Got loads of jokes ready.
Great. Well, very grateful to Katie and Ellen, of course, for filling in. But yeah, it's pretty cool that you're back.
Who?
Oh, just a couple of folk.
You didn't.
I actually went down. I went down the corner at the job exchange and found a couple just milling around on the street, and I said, "Do you want a podcast?" And they were like, "Yeah."
You didn't record without me, did you? I didn't say you could.
Oh. No?
Oh.
Definitely no then.
Great.
Yeah, definitely no.
Great.
So, yeah. Tell you what, mate, how about we just cut recommendations month short by 2 weeks?
Oh yeah, sure, that's fine by me.
Yeah. Oh man. Classic Paul.
The lads.
Thank God you're back. Don't ever leave again. Podcast that is Goblin spelled backwards. I'm Paul Nilbog.
I'm one with the vegetable world.
No, somebody make a movie about how villainous this man is.
Him and his friends together in a room. Film that.
That'll do. Fuck it, that'll do. Quote Claudio Fragasso. So it's been an odd little recommendations fortnight, but never mind that. There's a juicy, quivering history hole beckoning. Oh boy, I can't wait to get in that.
The history hole.
And this time, we are pissing all over the hospitality of 1990s Troll 2.
Yeah.
Delicious and purified.
This is very exciting stuff. Troll 2 is a legendarily bad film, widely considered one of the worst films ever made, but it's also part of a cycle of trashy Italian cult films of the 1980s that I'm all about.
That you're always all about.
I'm always all about. You know it, son. You've seen my shirt and tattoo on my pecs.
And your peen.
On the peen! It just says down it, I really love Italian cult cinema of the 1980s. That's flaccid.
And whoa.
Whoa.
There are a lot of negatives and modifiers in there that completely change the meaning of the sentence when aroused.
Yeah, it becomes very much an opposite. And a treatise on the meaning of life. It's very worth checking out, everyone. The film is directed by Claudio Fragasso.
Yes.
Who is credited as Drake Floyd, which I love. And all hacky Italian directors used to do that shit. It would just be credits. Music by Carlo Maria Codillo. Cinematography by Giancarlo Ferrando. Directed by John Michael. Peter Normalman.
The Drake Floyd does sound like a porn name from the 70s.
They all fucking do. Case in point in a moment, because Fragasso was a screenwriter for the wonderfully terrible Italian director Bruno Mattei.
Okay.
Who was also known as Vincent Dawn. These are all porn names.
Oh.
Vincent Dawn, Pierre LeBlanc, Stephen Oblowski.
Oh, okay.
Gilbert Rousel, David Hunt,
Yeah.
William Snyder, Jordan B. Matthews, Jimmy Mateus, and Michael Cardoso, which is just a different Italian-sounding name.
Yeah, but Michael's proper in it.
Oh, yeah. You'd never hire a Bruno to direct your film. Fragasso and Mattei together, they wrote and made the Seven Magnificent Gladiators, Hell of the Living Dead,
Okay.
Rats, Night of Terror,
Oh, yeah.
and his best film, Zombie 3.
Cool. No, none of those.
They're all trashy. Speaking of the zombie franchise, the other excellent trend of Italian cult horror was to fully produce the movie and then just slap a fucking franchise name on it from anywhere.
Okay.
Just at the marketing stage.
Almost as if it was an ADR track.
Yeah. So this was produced, obviously, as Goblin, because it's a movie about goblins. And then they decided, maybe we could capitalize on the 1986 movie Troll, because everybody was talking about that. So
Get out of my fucking way, E.T. Whatever you.
This movie does not feature any trolls.
No.
It would have been great if this was E.T. too. Fuck it.
Without the periods, so can't sue us.
It doesn't stand for anything. It's et.
Yeah. It's foreign, isn't it?
et 2, but they didn't understand me on the phone and they put et number 2. No, it's stylization. It's like Cradle to the Grave, et 2.
Jet Li is in it.
He plays troll number 3 if you look carefully.
Not even number 2.
Not even troll, sorry. Goblin number 3 in Trolls 2. Troll 2, excuse me.
Yeah, they'd have had to have moved to Llort or Llort. It's in Wales. Said it in fucking Wales, mate. It's probably a town called that.
They have to move to Slort, and I think that's great. So I'm going to read this from Wikipedia because I can't make it funnier than just how it is.
Okay.
Firstly, a little note that the page for Trolls 2 has a note at the top that says, for the 2020 animated film, see Trolls World Tour. And to my absolute delight, the page for Trolls World Tour, an actual movie that cost a lot of money, has a note saying not to be confused with Troll 2.
For the love of God.
I hope it's been confused with Troll 2, Paul.
You gotta hope that a parent who saw it and went, I know it wasn't released in 1990, but maybe this is a joke from the comedy geniuses behind Trolls 2 World Tour.
The McElroys. Why do they want to be on this 1990 movie so bad?
Why wouldn't they, Paul? That's what I want to ask.
Why wouldn't they? The script began as a way for director Claudio Fragasso's wife, Rossella Drudi, to express her frustration with several of her friends becoming vegetarians, which she claims pissed her off.
I did read this. Europeans.
The film was produced by Edward Sarlui and Joe D'Amato, an Italian exploitation film director notorious for his stated view that the profitability of films was more important than their entertainment value, and saw no connection between the two. I don't want to make people happy. I want them to spend money on my movie. He was happy to just trick people into it.
Yeah.
Very good.
One of the children watching that turned out to be David Cameron.
He was raised on the inevitability of the crushing of dreams.
And Italian exploitation movies.
He was the Italian exploitation director of Prime Ministers, it has to be said.
Has been said.
Oh, God. In keeping with D'Amato's production philosophy, many components of the film were created for little to no money, such as the costumes that were designed by D'Amato's longtime friend and frequent collaborator, Laura Gemser. And it shows. It looks like it. They were just made out of whatever shit she had, literally within arm's reach.
Yeah. Maybe the performers' faces came from her as well.
Maybe she did the production design of everybody's facial expressions.
Yeah.
The cast had very few experienced actors and was primarily assembled from residents of nearby towns who responded to an open casting call, hoping to win roles as extras and not the leads in the movie. Wonderful guy George Hardy was a dentist with no acting experience who showed up for fun, only to be given one of the film's largest speaking roles. Don Packard, who plays the store owner, was actually a patient of a nearby mental hospital and was cast for and subsequently filmed his role while on a day trip. He later recalled that he had smoked an enormous amount of marijuana prior to filming and had no idea what was happening around him, and that his disturbed performance was not acting.
Oh, no. But he was one of the best.
He was amazing.
Yeah. Eggs.
The production crew was made up almost entirely of non-English speaking Italians, brought to America by Fragasso. The only fluent English speaker on the set was Gemser, the aforementioned costume designer. As neither Fragasso nor Drudi, his wife, spoke fluent English, the shooting script was written in the same broken dialect in which they both spoke, and the cast later recalled not being able to understand much of what went on. Some of the cast members offered to correct their lines to sound more grammatically and syntactically correct.
Yep.
It's ironic that word would be so hard to pronounce.
It's English, mate.
But they said no wonder they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But they said that Fragasso demanded they deliver their lines verbatim. And their vines. They were all vining at the time.
They're pioneers.
Critics reacted to the film as you'd expect from all that.
Yeah. Huh?
Steve Blodrowski, which I think might be one of the names for fucking
hang on.
Bruno Mattei.
Moustache falls off to reveal a different, more Italian moustache.
A larger moustache.
Yeah.
Even bad movies usually stumble into a good moment or two, or at least reveal a brief glimpse of the good intentions that led the filmmakers down the road to cinematic perfidy. Oh, it's John Wayne!
Oh.
Shit. Troll 2, however, is a disaster from start to finish. Great.
Okay, cool.
Public, meanwhile, well, it's a cult movie.
Yeah.
You know, there's been Troll 2 events. Let's just get on with it.
5 out of 5.
Paul, please remember to do Threeman before the episode. Great.
Cool.
So, I'll be checking in with you later on that.
Sweet. Yeah, I just remembered it. Oh, I remembered at the beginning of the episode, I hadn't asked the OG team, so spoiler alert, that won't happen. That won't be a thing. I'm still on holiday, everyone.
We love you all. Bear with us.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I've left the memory stick with the 3-man database upstairs, so that'll be a little treat for next week's prologue.
Woo! It's been a rough month, everyone.
I'm going to be fucking thrilled if there's a 2-man in this cast list. Maybe people have been in Neil Breen movies.
Ties in with a lot of what I have to say, Paul.
The film has 2.9 on IMDb, 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, and is famous.
It's very famous.
Very famous. So, Paul, you Goblin's favourite food? What's one thing about Troll 2 that made you need to tighten your belt so as not to feel hunger pains?
Oh, Paul, as soon as the granddad smiles, I think of Jared Harris. And that's a thought that comes to me.
That's a good call.
Many times throughout this movie because the granddad does like a good smile.
He loves a good smile, Paul. He loves a Groot-style smile. Oh, well, let's find out all about this grandpa. I want to know everything about him. What happens here in Troll 2?
Well, Grandpa Seth is princess.
Grandpa Seth.
He's princess diarying the intro.
Peter Forking, a kid. Oh no.
Oh, shit. He's telling this kid, little Joshua, about the terrors of goblins.
Peter was a courageous boy, but that dawn, he could feel fear stick to his skin like dew on leaves.
The fable of 35-year-old Peter and his encounter with the evil, impotent goblins.
Is this about me? Yeah, goblins are evil is the moral of the story.
Gist, yeah.
Yeah, it's the crux of it. It's the rub.
Yeah.
And Grandpa Seth smiles and reminds me of Jared Harris.
And they'll turn you into goblin food, and then you'll get eaten by goblins, therefore.
Yeah.
And that's a bad thing. But twist, Grandpa Seth was dead the whole time. Or he can run really fast. Because they cut to it and he's not there. So maybe he's just hanging out the window.
Use your Jared Harris strength, Seth. Joshua immediately reveals himself to be a child of the corn because he speaks in a way that makes me want to put him in an oven. And his mum, played by PTSD Julie Haggerty.
She comes in and talks about how difficult the grandfather's death has been for many people.
Grandpa Seth has been gone for more than 6 months now. You were at the funeral, and I know it was very difficult for you. It was also very difficult for your father, and for Holly, and for me, his daughter.
Including me, his daughter.
His daughter?
I'm your mother's sister.
We have to keep running. Oh, God. But look, enough of that. Somebody around here is probably doing some sexy 80s exercise. Oh, shit, watch out for Jason. He usually shows up around now.
Yeah, the daughter, is doing her weights, doing infinite reps.
We get introduced to little Timmy's dad.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a man.
Oh boy, he was wonderful. He reminded me of someone, and I was just not able to put my finger on it the whole movie.
No, it's really hard. Somebody called him in the documentary I watched about Trolls 2. Spoilers. Somebody called him the rich man's Greg T. Nelson, and I was like, yes. But there's something else.
Aaron Eckhart. That's who I was thinking of. Aaron Eckhart. Yes.
It's an Aaron Eckhartian quality to him.
It's as you were talking, it went tunnel vision around his eyes. And
I had an interesting thought whilst you were talking.
Yeah. It's when they usually come up. And this one I was glad I was able to place it Aaron Eckhart. So yeah, the dad The dad is wonderful. I forget what he does.
Yeah.
But the mum comes down and he's just sprawled on the fucking sofa with his shirt unbuttoned, and I just adore it. Everything.
He's talking about how great it's going to be to return to a simple life.
Yeah.
We'll be living like our ancestors did. Yeah, we'll be peasants and farmers, just like people did a century ago.
The mum isn't existing on the same plane as him, so they sort of talk across purposes for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they go on holidays.
Yeah. Well, upstairs, some guy's peeping in on Timmy, but don't worry, it's just a harmless perv hoping to sleep with the sister.
A harmless...
He got the wrong window.
Useless perv with stupid friends.
Which is actually foreboding for later, is getting the wrong room. Only the opposite will happen. Anyway, he looks in on Timmy, freaks him out.
Yeah.
And then he looks in on the daughter, who also freaks out, and neither of the parents respond to both of their children screaming.
Well, one of them had previously shown that he still believes his granddad is alive and giving him foreboding about various small people. And the daughter, I mean, look at those hip bones.
She's from the 80s, you can just leave her to it. She does mention at one stage to the boyfriend,
"But my family doesn't like you. They say you're good for nothing, and that you spend way too much time with your friends."
Is it true that your family's going on vacation tomorrow?
Yes.
I'll come with you.
Okay, I'll tell my father that you're coming with us tomorrow.
As long as you get rid of your friends. What? It's me or your friends, Elliot. It's me or your friends. Well, obviously,
I don't know.
I mean, probably my friends, because that's a terrible ultimatum to give. Oh, wait, no,
the friends.
I'm the bad guy.
You saw the friends, though, right?
You got Billy the Blue Ranger.
You got Billy the Blue Ranger, who is like the iconic Billy the Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
Apart from David Yost, he's the closest to Billy the Blue Ranger you're going to get.
If we ever lose David Yost, God forbid.
God forbid.
Yeah. We'll use that guy.
So the boyfriend shows up over 90 minutes late, so they just leave.
Yeah.
He is a good for nothing.
Evidently, he preferred his friends to you.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. You should listen to reason. Elliot is a good for nothing.
He's a good for nothing, Paul. So that's also the runtime of this movie, and that's a long time.
That's a long time. Things get tense in the car.
Yeah. They have a David Lynch sequence.
They have a David Lynch sequence in which the mother says, "Joshua, start singing. Sing now. That song that I like so much. Row, row, row your boat." Yes, that title eluded you. Sing that song, with the rowing and the boat, whatever it is.
Can't place it. Highway to Hell.
And they rock out for several minutes. It's pretty awesome. Fuck up friends have already managed to secure a Winnebago. They're the worst.
They're the A-team.
The worst people can manifest those at will.
Coding for pure villain.
So yes, at this point, the young boy dreams that he turns into a plant and is impaled on a pitchfork. It's really good.
It's quite good. Well, they get to the house not before they park up at town at the dead of night, and then they get to the house in broad daylight. They've gone across country. They're in Mexico.
Well, they probably went over a time zone, mate.
Oh yeah, America's mental. How do you work?
How do they work?
Just don't know.
The creepy opposite family, because the idea of this holiday is they're swapping houses with a identical but different family on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Or state, whatever.
Whatever.
And yeah, they're leaving just as they arrive, and Aaron Eckhart Dad does his best impression of Manos Dad.
Got the music for it as well.
Hello. You're late.
I'm sorry we had a small mishap.
Here are the keys. Here are ours.
Enjoy your stay in Yilbon.
Enjoy our city, too. You'll enjoy our city. It has some smog, it's a little noisy, but our house has all the major conveniences. Yeah, it's got a microwave and video, all the other appliances.
Yeah.
A refrigerator, a bar.
These guys are really weird. They're all stilted and unnatural, not like us.
Yeah.
Let me list some appliances as they drive away. Microwave.
Well, look, they completely ignore the lovely, nice family that we know to be heroes, and
we know and love.
Stupid heroes who think that was normal. And anyway, it's time to go into the house. Farming, brilliant, olden days.
Yeah. Oh look, that creepy family left treats. Gross-looking wrong treats.
Yeah, fluorescent green treats.
Oh, I tell you what, Grandpa Reiner doesn't like it though.
Yeah.
So he tells the kid to go and ruin their meal. For the love of God, do that. I'll freeze time for you.
Yeah.
You can do that? This time I can.
Well, I can't freeze time. I can make them all sit very, very still, as if they were frozen in time.
I continue to blink, visibly blink. So yeah, he spends his 30 seconds and more staring at everyone, not really doing anything.
Yeah.
And he's just thinking, how can I get everybody to stop eating this terrible food? I'll definitely piss on it all.
I must do it. I must do it.
Best moment of the movie.
Well, nearly, because the next sequence involves certain lessons about hospitality, Paul.
Yeah.
Do you see this writing? Do you know what it means? Hospitality. And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
Oh, boy. Well, I learned a lot.
I learned a lot about humanity.
It's like reading Steinbeck. And so having done that,
we cut to the fuck up friends, and Billy the Blue
okay.
Ranger decides that he needs to get laid in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
So first thing in the morning as well. So he leaves the others. And score, he immediately finds a disheveled woman in the woods.
Fuck
Cue
yeah.
the guitar.
They are always game.
He heroically tackles her to the ground, but there's mysterious, terrifying monsters. Oh no!
Yeah.
Just there, right there, in daylight, in mid-shot.
Oh yeah.
Ah!
Anyway, I know nothing or anything about what's happened so far, but I think I can talk him out of this using my bravado.
Yeah. No, sweetie, I'm a man.
Yeah.
So let me have a word.
Let me have a word with the men, darling. And
These short, tiny men.
yeah, and he does in very much. All right, you. Why don't you all clear off? There's a real man here now. Me, David Yost.
Get out of here.
And
Blue Ranger.
Yeah, classic Blue Ranger line.
Hey, don't make me. I don't want it to be morphin time. Do you want it to be morphin time? I don't think so. Get out of here.
Go off my land.
It doesn't work. They throw a spear at him.
Yeah.
Which isn't great. And they take refuge in a church.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like that we need a touch of subtlety and realism in this film. So Hocus Pocus the woman gets introduced.
Yeah.
This is my house. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Credence Leonore Gielgud of ancient Druid origins.
She's great. I will be referring to her as every female vampire name I can think of.
Oh, she's pretty good.
She says, "Hey, drink this weird stuff." Sure. What's wrong with her? Nothing. Here, drink this. Okay.
And then the other best moment of the movie. Equal best.
she turns into a fucking cabbage, and the fucking derp trolls eat her. And David Yost has a couple of things to say about this.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Had you seen that before this film?
No, I hadn't seen any of this before.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
It's fucking great. It was
Yeah.
just, I can't, there are just times when you're purely happy, you know?
Happy to be alive.
Yeah.
Now Grandpa Rhino appears to the wrong person, implying that nothing else happened that entire day, actually, thinking about it. Timmy's happy to sleep in the room so that he can talk to his dead grandpa. Sure, let's enable that.
I didn't see any issues with that.
No, that's fine.
Well, not with this
Kid's
grandpa
okay.
anyway. I fucking love this man.
Timmy does ask his, it's Joshua, but I'm calling him Timmy because
Yeah.
that's what I call all children. He asks his grandpa, how come you don't appear to someone in the house with some power or credibility? No.
Shut up.
Definitely not doing that. Fucking kid.
Shut up, Tim.
Telling me my business.
Well, they
Piece of
just
shit.
don't. They don't listen to a single word Grandpa says Grandpa. That's why she got with her good-for-nothing husband.
That's it. He gives the example of her marrying a man he didn't like. Therefore, they will definitely not believe me, an actual ghost, about the terrifying trolls in town. That bitch.
Damn hussy.
Grandpa?
Yeah.
So, yes, the next morning. Oh my God, I just realised how out of sequence this is, because this is definitely implied to be the first morning, but all of the David Yost stuff happened during the day. Amazing.
So, yeah.
They get there and it's like, what's for breakfast, honey? He says to his wife. Oh, I don't know. We didn't check for any supplies when we got here, and
we didn't bring any either.
And your son pissed all over everything yesterday, so we got nothing. Absolutely nothing.
We got milk, but it just does this, and then they demonstrate. It's all curdled milk. It's gross.
Ew, that's no good. No idiot would drink that. Imagine trying to lure someone into drinking that. Pathetic. Meanwhile, the same realization has happened with friend number 2 in the caravan.
Yeah.
And he goes off to get supplies, and a cop picks him up. Hey, you hungry? Take this green ball of whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Like, I'll nibble it, I guess. Oh, it's delicious. Delicious green stuff.
Oh, yum yum yum. He arrives at the store.
Yeah.
Where all the men in town are having a standoff outside because they're very good at luring people in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the shop only sells more lumpy milk.
Yeah.
But they do have in stock another fucking crazy guy, which I write long before I find out that was actually a mental patient.
Yeah.
A mental health hospital patient.
Well, then you're just accurate.
I was just accurate in my assumption, as I always am.
Can't help it if you're just offensively accurate the whole time.
That's how I am described.
Can I help you?
Coffee.
There's no coffee here in Nilbog. It's the devil's drink.
Eggs.
Yes, but coffee is the devil's drink, so he's not getting any of that.
Oh, no. People who don't like coffee can't be trusted.
Mark Zuckerberg? Probably.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Do you know what? Even if he did like coffee, Paul, I'd make an exception. I'm taking you down. Do something about it. Don't.
Do something. Oh, God, he's doing everything about it.
Oh, no, that was no. That was a different sentence aimed at someone else. Yeah, and as the dream starts to become more aware of this boy, he...
Well, he goes to leave, right? And someone says, hey, your friend had a message for you. What, Arnold? Yeah, Harold. He said meet him at the creepy house. Okay. Did he say where he's been? No, I've not actually talked to him. Oh, okay. That house? Yeah, that house.
Yeah,
Great.
the one with lightning striking it. And yeah, so he goes in, and there's a very amusing sequence where he finds out he's a plant now, and has to drag him out. And his friend Billy, whatever the fuck, looks just really impatient and angry that he's being dragged out so slowly. And eventually it doesn't work. And
the witch gets him and chucks him across a room, and that's the last you'll hear of him.
Yeah, whatever.
At this stage, Timmy and his dad do arrive in town.
Yeah, they does arrive.
They does arrive. The dad busies himself with some great literature, and Timmy suddenly catches sight of a mirror.
Nilbog! It's goblins spelled backwards! This is their kingdom!
It's ingenious because it makes such a great place name when spelled backwards. So alluring.
Yeah. We're going on vacation again. Nilbog. All right.
Kids. Why the fuck
Kids in your Nilbog. Ask myself every day.
The answer, Nilbog. So he sneaks into the local church where Father Randy Savage is preaching about how gross meat is.
Yeah.
And by flesh, I mean all that stinking, disgusting meat. Hamburgers. Steaks. The steak sausages. And hot dogs. Sold by the side of the road. The stink of smoked carcasses.
They get revealed to be goblins in disguise. Yeah, looking way more convincing as humans than as goblins.
Yeah, those disguises are incredible. You had to put the work into the disguise when your own skin looks so unbelievable. It's kind of like us,
like
Paul.
A paper mache piece of fuck.
You know how we refuse to believe in the other's existence.
Prove it, mate. Fucking prove it.
I can't prove it.
Kid starts screaming, and luckily Steve Martin Dad is outside. So he rushes in, and the kid explains that they're monstrous beings, Dad.
Daddy, they're goblins! Monstrous beings!
What?
And Nilbog is goblin spelled backwards. God damn it, Ted the Goblin. Didn't I say that was too obvious?
Should have called it Llort. Because we're not trolls. And people can't prove that.
And that doesn't spell trolls backwards, so that would have been great. It spells
Yeah.
trolk.
No, I'm doing a Welsh thing. Yeah, I know you are.
Troch.
Llort.
He does at this stage, the dad does spot the family he swapped houses with. And it's very rare you get to look at the menacing strangers you met earlier and say, what are you doing here? You should be at my house.
But apparently their answer is enough for the dad. Well, no, the dad does he's starting to wonder why things be so crazy. And they back away very, very slowly until they're no longer in the room and can't be got by the goblins.
Which is a classic tactic for trying to get away from these goblins.
We believe you, but we are also leaving.
You know, Uma Thurman did also menace Billy the Blue Ranger with a chainsaw. It's a busman's holiday for us.
Yeah.
He seems to not mind it and is actually kind of tickled by the chainsaw, so that's a nice change because nobody in the Texas Chainsaw musicals, Jesus.
Musical.
Yeah. None of them like anything, so it was nice to see someone just happy.
Just enjoy something.
Yeah,
I mean,
other than bashing people's brains in.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of enjoyment, the movie turns into Midsommar for a while. And
yes.
Because the
whole village shows up. The whole village have shown up. Shown up. Showed. They've showed up. And they managed to beat them here and prepare a tremendous amount of food.
Yeah. Oh, we had all these anyway. These are just in our cars.
Oh, God.
Look, there's cake with green on it. There's bread with green on it, and there's cake with red on it.
Oh,
right.
God. I was suspicious of you, but now you've all turned up unannounced at my house with green food. I'm kind of on board.
Yeah. But they're goblins, Dad. You're all right, Timmy. We've had enough of this.
Timmy goes to try and contact Grandpa Seth. But there's nothing in the mirror for him except for Elvira the vampire, a rubbish goblin, and a kick-ass tune.
Grandpa Seth, come quick!
The Korg synthesizer demo.
But Grandpa does show up to cut off Morticia's hand, and has a lovely smile for him as he does this. And now it's time for Timmy to commit arson. Thanks, Ghost Grandpa. You've got the best ideas.
But he doesn't commit arson. He commits Carson. But if that guy was a car,
or Parson, if he was a different religious man.
Yeah. That'll do for me. It's better than anything I could have come up with. I'm still on holiday.
I'm quite happy with this. Father Ray Cyrus comes out and yeah, he tries to stop him setting fire to the house, and he banishes Grandpa back to hell.
Yeah.
But oh shit, Grandpa managed to set him on fire first. Fuck yeah, Grandpa.
Nice one. You're my best grandpa.
And the dad comes out and it's like, well, you've really done it this time, Timmy. You've set fire to a member of the clergy. Go straight to your room.
Oh, gee. And then very, very quickly becomes obvious that they're goblins.
Yes, because they just say so.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we are goblins, so you might want to go hide.
Yeah, you've killed one of us goblins, so, now one of you will die. Everybody stand perfectly still and stare at them until they've managed to back out of the crowd.
And it works again.
Yeah. Now it's a siege.
Because, it's siege tactics, everyone. Motherfuckers. Goblins throw them a bag of green rolls and say, it's easy if you eat these. We don't want to kill you violently because your blood will get in the meat and we'll have to soak you in vinegar for a day.
There's sandwiches for tonight in here. It will go easier if you eat them. You'll make our work easier. Otherwise, we'll be forced to kill you violently.
I just love eat these sandwiches or we'll kill you violently.
Yeah. All right, Mum. God. Jesus.
But it's terrible because they don't even have enough weapons to defend themselves. Do something, Elliot. The fucking boyfriend character who's definitely going to be the one to save them.
Showed up 6 minutes ago.
Memorable character third friend is still in the Winnebago watching television.
Oh, fuck.
And Elvira appears dancing seductively with some corn.
Yeah.
She's playing a very saucy and subtle game. Won't you fuck me? Sure.
Yeah. Here's some corn. Whatever, mate.
I really don't care about the corn now. Oh, that's a shame because I'm really going to keep up this aesthetic and sort of theme as we continue to make out.
They genuinely literally get covered in popcorn. And then we're back in the house, probably.
Yep. Meanwhile, at the siege...
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? Says one of the goblins.
Yep, and in spite of the fact they haven't barricaded anything, they have managed to put up a pretty sweet-looking seance.
Yeah, that's it. They go to seance because they've got to get in touch with Grandpa Seth.
Outside, the goblin trolls are getting pretty impatient. Let's show them we're still here. By storming the house? No, I'm just going to shoot this gun I've got.
Yeah. Oh, you got a gun? Yeah. All right.
Are you going to use that later? No. We're going to become trolls again and chase people with spears.
Yeah.
Grandpa does not show up. Goblins do, and the whole thing's ruined now. Oh no, Grandpa does show up, and there will be points on that later, but the goblins show up too.
Yes.
The kid's on his own again, except for Grandpa. The kid is given a final secret weapon, a double bologna sandwich.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Grandpa disappears. The whole family shows up, and Timmy has to say, isn't it obvious? Only the power of good can defeat the monsters, so let's all touch this stone.
The Stonehenge stone. The Stonehenge magic stone, as it's called. She's from Stonehenge, by the way.
Yep, it's like Halloween 3.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe how hard it was to get it here. I really wouldn't. Yeah, so they all touch the stone. One of the trolls, goblins, falls off a balcony. Someone's eye explodes, and they've won the day. Elvira goes back to hell with Grandpa.
Yeah. And they chill for a bit.
Yeah.
But then they go back home, and they all go their separate ways. It's like the end of Return of the King. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like Return of the King.
I have to pass by the office.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frodo. Now I must stop by the office.
Got some photocopying that I need to get picked up.
A lot of emails that I've missed during this adventure.
From Brian and his shit.
He sends amusing ones.
The boy, Timmy, and his mum, Julie Haggerty, deranged Julie Haggerty, go home. And she immediately starts eating apples and staring at him like... like he's an apple. And she goes to shower. But no, the apples, despite not being green, were goblin things as well.
Oh no, twist. Grandpa was full of shit and the power of good isn't worth a damn thing because the trolls are here.
Yeah, should have kept eating that bologna sandwich, which was this film's sword shaped like a cock.
The kid screams as the trolls eat his mum the end.
Do you want some, Joshua?
Paul, what did you make of that?
That was amusing.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was as close to Breen, I think, as we're going to get without actually watching Breen.
It was a good midpoint between sort of Manos and Breen, I think.
Yeah.
Sort of incorporating elements of the inexplicable nature of Breen with the just sheer lack of production quality of Manos.
Yeah. It's a heady mix, Paul.
And the acting of both.
Yeah. I think the characters here were pretty Breeny. And the performances, you know, the just crazed staring of the mum and the dad who just had the weirdest ideas and just came out with the craziest stuff said in the most sincere way.
Yeah.
The daughter who was
she's
reading like teleprompter.
Yeah, she was fantastic. But she was leaning into it as well a lot. Like, you know, they can't stand you.
It was one of those moments when I just had to check that I was still alive and not in heaven because this was perfectly ludicrous. And I really did enjoy it. As with all these things, there's about 20 minutes there where I think, this could have done with being 70 minutes. But there's always a bit in these movies where they have to like stretch it out a bit to make it feature length, and it's just a few moments where it kind of loses its it just stops being incredibly crazy and hilarious.
Well, it's that standard thing with So Bad They're Good movies. They were not designed to be comedies, in spite of what some people say. And so there were moments where it just sort of tediously shifts towards really boring competency. But for the most part, I would say that this has that wonderful thing that the great bad movies really do, which is that it's almost impossible to acclimatize to. Once you get used to the fact that everybody's delivery is absolutely fucking crazy. What now? Now we're just experiencing the weirdest plot point you've ever seen, and now we have a dance sequence for no reason, and it's the most underwhelming dance sequence you've ever seen in your entire goddamn life. And now the dad is here, and he's yelling about something, and we don't know why. And now the grandpa's here, smiling like a madman, and it's
grandpa.
Oh God, it's wonderful. You know, it keeps surprising you with the things it can't do.
Yes, I think it ended up being quite a transcendent experience in that respect. I think despite the fact that it was written by an Italian who had a very shaky grasp of English, it wasn't the dialogue that was untranslatable. It was the tone. Like not the tone of the movie, but just all the characters, the whole mood, all of them together.
Yeah,
there was just like it was impossible, like unfathomable for me to know what the director was actually going for.
Yes,
and it's not a language barrier; it's like a human barrier.
Yeah,
and that's I guess that's why it felt like Breen. It was just unknowable for the most part. It's just I don't know what angle you were coming at this with.
Oh, it did have the fantastic dialogue, though.
You scared the shit out of me.
I'm the victim of a nocturnal rapture. I have to release my lowest instincts with a woman.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But, I mean, a very useful and very revealing actual companion film to this is Best Worst Movie, which is a film that the kid who plays Timmy grew up and made.
Yes.
19 years later. And is really good. It might be the definitive word on the psychology around So Bad They're Good movies.
Okay.
Because it really gets into all of the things we discussed, whether or not it's fair to sort of laugh at the movies that have been, functioned by very, sincere people who have nevertheless completely failed in their accomplishment. And, it's about the fan reaction, but it's also about the people who made it, and that's very interesting.
Okay.
The director Fragrasso claims that the audience love it in spite of the critics. So basically, the critics thought it was silly and cheap, but the audience got it. And it's like, no, the audience also think it's silly and cheap, and that's why they love it.
Yeah.
Whilst his wife, Drudy, claims that they meant it to be funny. And you can see that this was meant to be a comedy in some scenes. You can see, the performances of the vampire lady, is very big and theatrical. And you're like, okay, that's meant to be a sort of comedy character and the corn thing.
Yeah.
But those sequences are not funny for the reasons they think.
No. Crucially.
Yeah, it's because they really fucked it up really a lot. And there's this fantastic moment where the filmmakers actually come to America, to LA, I think, in order to attend a screening of Troll 2. And they realize that people are not just laughing at the bits that they claim were meant to be funny, they're laughing at the bits that were meant to be serious, and that the whole audience just sees it as a joke. And Fragrasso just basically goes off on one. He ends up yelling at a bunch of people at various conventions, and he's just revealed to be kind of a delusional maniac.
I read about this. He crashed a convention and was screaming at the character, the actors, and calling them dogs. And
yep, he was doing that. That's in the movie. The footage of him doing that's in the movie, and it's quite something. But it's a shame because, well, sometimes you get a sense of like the cost of this. Like they interview the girl playing the daughter, who really struggled to get auditions after this, and that's a shame. That's sad, because I'd hire her. This is great, but a lot of people wouldn't, and that's a shame.
What do you mean genuinely, like a good actor?
Because
that's not true.
I would find something for her to do, but nevertheless, actually, I feel like I would be reluctant to base casting on previous performances. I would go off of auditions. I think.
True.
But so it's a shame that affected her. Other people, like the guy who played the store clerk, who was in a mental health unit, he attended the convention, and everybody cheered and applauded him, and he was coming out and he was saying it was amazing to see that everybody responded to this dumb thing that I did really well, and he was clearly a very depressed guy, and he said just for once it felt like it wasn't so bad to be me,
Aww,
and that was really
cool.
sweet. Then they go to the actress who played the mum, and she's gone crazy.
Oh, okay.
She lives with her elderly mother as her primary carer, and she's clearly hearing voices and is delusional. And I really hope she got the care she needed after this, because...
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, that was just a disturbing part of the documentary. She's gone a bit mad.
God, well, that sort of figures.
Yeah, I think so. That
God.
makes sense. But the main character is the dad, who is a dentist in his town. And it's a lovely guy, and the whole movie is basically about, you are a hero in your town. You don't need the fame and success that this movie, which is only liked ironically, can bring you.
Yeah.
And that was the focal point of the movie, and that was really sweet, that ultimately it was the love he got from his family and his neighbors that really actually meant something. And people who love Troll 2 are not your friends.
Yeah, I would say anyone who likes Troll 2 is not any one of our friends.
I'm nobody's friend now because I enjoyed Troll 2. I'm not good for anyone.
But it's good that you know that.
Yeah. This is a really good film. I really enjoy Troll 2. It's a good laugh.
It's very special.
It's very special. I don't think the directors intended to make it like this.
I don't think so.
And that's why it's so great, I think.
This,
I think, though, is right up there. It really does. It lives up to expectations. It has many very, very memorable sequences, which, let's mention some of them now. Let's quickfire. The moment that shifted my opinion on this movie or got me like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this, was the mother monologue when she comes in. And in addition to explaining all the people who are mourning, the grandpa just goes on for a bit, and it's just such dead-eyed delivery.
Grandpa Seth has remained in all our hearts, but you must banish him from your mind.
But he's so real.
That's enough. Try to go to sleep. We're going on a vacation tomorrow. A month in the country will do us all good.
Yeah.
It's just one. Apparently the scripts were like delivered on the day of filming, and they were instructed to just read it verbatim. So yeah, it's got that perplexed rabbit in a headlight effect that is really good.
That explains a lot. God, yeah. Like the whole beginning from Timmy going, a goblin, and the grandpa says crazy Jared Harris smile and nod. The angel delight sort of thing that is fed to 35-year-old George. The way he's being fed this bowl of green angel delight, and he's just gulping it down and staring up at this lady who's actually a goblin. It was really creepy.
It was
gross. Gluttonous. Ugh.
One little bit of incompetence there that I really liked was the kid says, a goblin? And Grandpa smiles and nods. And we cut to him not meeting a goblin, but a beautiful woman who is revealed to be a goblin. But for a moment, it's just like, well, wait, was he wrong? What was that smile to me?
That smile, you fucking idiot, Timmy.
No, not at all. Not even a little bit. I really enjoyed Elliot's reaction to getting kicked in the nuts. Like, she goes off on a very memorable... You know what, I'm going to say all of the acting in the daughter's first scene with the boyfriend is fucking superb.
He trying to turn me into a homo?
Wouldn't it be too hard? If my father discovers you here, he'd cut off your little nuts and eat them. He can't stand you.
But yeah, his reaction to getting kicked in the nuts was very amusing.
In the fairy tale at the beginning, the kid appears in it to ask the grandpa something, and I liked that. I actually liked that.
Yes, that was unusual.
Made me think of Spaced.
All right, well, if you're going to go with something that actually genuinely worked, I'll do the same. The effects of like plants growing out of Timmy's hands is pretty gross in the car.
Yeah.
Like, it was upsetting. It was a fairly gory little effect, and a lot of this did remind me of the kind of hardcore badass horror movies that were made for kids in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like genuinely disturbing imagery.
I really liked that. Pretty disgusting. And
it was.
as ever, prosthetics always look great.
Absolutely. And one little addendum is immediately after he wakes up and he's like, they're trying to eat me. And the sister turns around and says,
Who wants to eat you, little brother?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Just some of the lines and reactions of Joshua, the boy, Timmy, were unreal. The first scene when the mum comes in and she's chastising him for telling the same tale of Grandad appearing and talking about goblins, and he goes,
I know, Mommy. I told you it would never happen again. But you see...
And then he carries on talking. And if my kid ever said, but you see, as a sort of preface to a statement. Yeah.
I must tell you.
Heretofore. Just, in the oven. Gosh, just everything about that opening sequence in the house, the way the dad's sprawled across the sofa.
So casual.
Fuck me, it's just raw sexual energy, Paul.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's really powerful. He is a powerful man. He's such an oddly shaped man. He's like Jake Busey or something. He's just... Or Gary Busey, the more popular Busey. I could have gone with that.
No, we're about the underdogs, Paul.
Absolutely.
Jake Busey,
that's
classic
one good
underdog.
Thing. One good thing. One Jake Busey thing. Look, whilst we're talking about this guy, I'm just going to say hunger pains.
Yep.
What are you going to do to me, Daddy?
Tighten my belt by one loop so I don't feel hunger pains. And your sister and mother will have to do likewise.
What a bizarre notion. Nobody's ever thought about that as a thing. Why would that work? And why can't they figure out something else to eat for dinner? It's just the dreamlike logic of it. Yeah. It's just so amazing, where a character doesn't think about anything related to their humanity until the next time they are on screen. And everyone's just been in like a stasis mode since then. It's just fantastic.
Oh, God, yeah. It is the level of ridiculousness of like a Will Ferrell character or something like that. It's like in Anchorman, that would be quite funny.
Yes.
But this is just meant to be a dad.
Being earnestly upset about his bad son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. In the car, before all the singing, I think. Oh, no. It's after the dream when she says he's trying to eat your little brother. And then the mum goes, speaking of eating, do you want some? And she holds a sandwich to him.
Yeah.
And when Timmy says no thanks, the look the mum gives him and then the sandwich before she puts it away, it's so incriminating. It's just, you do this, you come here to me and refuse my sandwich.
On this, the day of my car journey.
But it's just a quick despondent look down to the sandwich.
Aww.
And it's the dirtiest fucking look a mum could give.
I love it. Oh, God. I would say that in Timmy's room, there's some pretty cool drawings of some goblins around.
Yeah.
Pretty neat looking things. It's like maybe this was the production design that they came up with, and they gave it over to the costume person. It's like, oh yeah, I can do that. And it's just like made a cardboard cutout of that for people to wear on top of their face.
When the granddad says, you got 30 seconds to think of something, and he snaps his fingers, we get this zoom in on Josh's face as he sees his family frozen, and it's such a it makes me think of a cartoon donkey. I don't know why, but it does. And like
yeah.
And we spend half of this movie up this kid's nose. So,
yeah, it's amazing.
The camera angles we get just tilted so we can see actual boogers up there.
Oh God, the guys all watching TV together in the Winnebago, and it's like 80s. I mean, this is you know what? Maybe that scene was meant to be in the evening, but that super looked like Saturday morning television that they were watching.
Yeah.
So that's what I just came to the conclusion of. But it just looked like a really chill moment.
Oh,
just a bunch of lads.
You know, in America, Paul, they're so free that there's a channel that's dedicated to breakfast TV 24/7. And you can just do that.
And that's why the Chinese are going to beat them.
Yeah, they're the Roman Empire, truly.
This is the last days of the Roman Empire. This is all-day games. It's just unsustainable.
Breakfast for dinner. You absolute.
Don't you English have an all-day breakfast? No.
That's different though, because there's no maple syrup. Not a single drop of syrup present.
That's the main difference.
Yeah.
We just have black pudding, which is a nightmare made real, and it's fairly tasty.
Black pudding is one of the most delicious things
it's very good.
In the world. Yeah, in the world, Paul.
It has been designed to look like something that will kill anyone on sight.
Scare off foreigners.
Yeah.
But not a drop of syrup, Paul, and that is the difference between us and barbarism.
Oh my God, is that finally the answer to America? How do you work? It's just syrup.
Yeah, the clogged up machine of our arteries, just trying to process all the constant sausage and pig's blood.
Oh God.
And then just syrup squeezed into it to lubricate the cogs.
And you got yourself an America.
A whole America. Speaking of America, when final Winnebago kid is left alone and he goes,
What about the beautiful liberated girls?
Yeah. One I'm not sure about, and I would love to create a YouTube compilation of bizarre, out of place, suddenly a character is dancing for no reason sequences in 80s movies. And this one might have the best one. It's the daughter is in her room. It's the one that starts with the fucking Batman eyes. Yeah, it's superb. It's the worst dance you've ever seen in your life. A lot of shoulder action, and it's just a nightmare, and I love it. I really love it.
It's wonderful and awkward.
I have heard that various pieces of music in this were just demo sounds from the Casio keyboards that they had, or the synthesizers that they just played at different speeds.
They had a legit Korg synthesizer, and I heard it. It made me laugh because when I was a kid, I had a Casio keyboard, and the demo was "Wake me up before you."
Oh, that's amazing!
And just think of that, just fucking at quarter speed.
We had a weird disco version of Beethoven's Ninth.
Ooh.
Yeah, Ode to Joy specifically. Whilst in the background, there was like a. It's just a bizarre thing.
Why did you do this to us, Casio keyboard? So it could have just been button mashing on their Korg, but I actually liked the moment. Like in the context of a motivational dance, it was a really cute little thing.
Look, I've got a soft spot for beautiful women doing terrible dances, and this definitely ticked that box. It's very humbling,
there we go.
I find.
It sounds niche, but it's not as niche as you think.
Not as niche as you think. There's a lot of websites.
It's true, dedicated solely to that. And also beautiful people can just get away with whatever the fuck they want, so it's...
Yeah. Remember Rock and Roller? That's sort of Jared Butler and... was it Zoe Saldana? No, it wasn't Zoe Saldana.
It's was it...
Tandy Newton?
Yes.
I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Again.
Yes.
Beautiful people dancing badly. Love it.
Fucking love that.
Love that shit.
I love the idea of the grandpa getting the wrong room. It's just a really silly... contrivance, but whoops.
Whoopsie. The makeup is really bad, but it's really a rough idea that Billy the Blue Ranger has plants growing through him. Why did that happen to him and not anyone else who all just turned into cabbages? Who the fuck knows? But it was really gross, the idea of having trees like growing out of you and through you.
Yeah, the bit of bark over his mouth, there's something about it was just really chunky and gross. Oh yeah, okay, so back to the moment when Grandpa Seth freezes the family and we get Joshua's brilliant face. When he's about to get up on the table, he's like going, I must. Again, just a horrible child of the corn.
He's a horrible child.
And then there's a close-up on his flies, and he sort of goes to zip, and he's reaching inside his jeans, and then it's hard cut to the mum scraping the pissed-on food into the bin, which is just a wonderful bit of cinematography there. It's visual storytelling at its best.
It really is. Speaking of which, I really like it when Timmy is spying on the church meeting and the guy just reaches up and grabs his face. Yeah. And he's then got his hand on his face for just a bit too long as the kid's like, ah! And then it cuts hard to the dad outside who just about hears something. And it's just really fucking gold.
Like, it lingers too long on his face so that you know it did start to hurt him.
Beautiful. We use all of it.
Yeah, realism. When the lady that is with Billy the Blue Ranger starts puking up the green slime, that looked really unpleasant. Because she looks pained. She looks like it's really hurting to throw this up. And
yeah, I thought you were talking about the other woman, the woman who gets Billy the Blue Ranger. But no, you're right. When she's throwing up, it is awful, and she does put a lot into that performance.
Yeah, that's great. And then obviously there's the next bit, one of the best bits of the movie.
Yeah.
They're eating her, and then they're gonna eat me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Stuff of legend. It really is.
Yeah.
It's up there with Garbage Day. It's just there. Okay, I really love the line.
We need time for some things to happen.
But also coming off of your one, I really did think that Elvira, the vampire lady, she's got a really rubbish real name, but not real name, like character name.
Credence,
but it's like double E and then double E again after the D. Credence.
Clearwater Revival.
She had some really good makeup effects, I thought. Very simplistic, just white, but often she looks really freaky, like a character from Dario Argento's Suspiria. You know, just like weird dry lips and like cuts. So I don't know, it looked like her mouth had been sewn shut, but she tore it open. It was and it was a very committed performance from her. And I felt like she was one of the very few performances which that's when she saw herself on the screen, that's exactly what she put out.
Yeah.
She wasn't surprised. It's like, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I knew that's what I was doing.
Yeah, your point. Okay, when the dad, they're outside the convenience store, and the dad goes, "We have to wait and be patient," and immediately takes out and starts reading a vegetable cookbook and is so engrossed in it that he is no longer aware of his son.
So engrossed, but also looks just vaguely upset with it. Like he's just reading it, and he's just like, he's really confused about it for some reason. Like this is a novel new idea to him.
Yeah. What?
Ugh. Wait, where'd you put the bacon in? Oh. There was some really trippy editing around Elvira getting her hand cut off, and then because she's a troll, hand gets cut off.
Yeah.
Then the glass like reforms and then breaks on the other side, and it was just a kind of really expressive, kind of dramatic moment that worked effectively.
There's a hard cut at one point in the movie to Credence just in their house, and she's grabbing Timmy's mum by the shoulder, and she turns around and screams. Yeah. And there's just the way that is put together and what that suggests is just it had me reeling even after her crazy reaction. Just how did she get in? What was the mum doing?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah. I'll have both of Grandpa's smiles. First when he cuts off the troll's hand and he gives
both of them, sir.
Yeah, he cuts off the troll's hands and he gives Billy a little smile. And then later on when he shows up to punch a troll or a goblin, and then just turns and gives him another little smile.
Yeah.
It's just the best.
Oh god, I love it. And there's a real pause before that second one.
Yes, there really is.
Oh yeah, when Credence is in the house with the mum and she says, "I hope you will enjoy one of my traditional recipes." It's hard cut to this horrible looking cake with welcome on green icing.
Love it.
And it just, what a great hard cut.
The way the priest screams when he's on fire was pretty funny.
Yep. Big fan of that. Big fan of that guy in general.
He's great. Him and Elvira. I think he was the other guy where it's like, yep, that was the tone I went for.
Yeah. One interaction between the sister and Elliot later on. "It's either me or your friends. I don't understand." And she fucking clocks him, just smacks him in the face.
Yeah, that was great.
Understand now?
What a great character she was. I really respect that.
Why are you telling me to get rid of my friends? They were fine.
Dicks. If you invited a romantic partner on holiday and they showed up with 3 of their mates, you might.
A romantic holiday with your parents.
Hey, they can still go out in the woods and fuck. You know how teenage holidays worked.
That's true.
That's true.
The parents pretend they don't know, but they know.
Oh, they know. Come on. They know all about it. When they're in the house in the siege, they're like, "How do we contact the grandpa?" And the sister's like,
"But how do we get him to come? By holding a seance, maybe? You're a genius, big sister!"
Are you trying to normalize the line from earlier?
Yeah.
The mother line. Are you trying to make it... Yeah, you see, people talk like this. Because it's just madness.
Look, we wrote it, therefore people talk like this.
I talk like this. Isn't that right, wife?
And you're my wife, and I'm your husband. The granddad Seth, and little Timmy are outside the house looking in at the midsummer going on. And the granddad goes, "We must move quickly to put out the fire." And Timmy goes, "What fire?" And the granddad just slowly lifts a Molotov cocktail into frame.
I love how corporeal the grandpa was. Just holding a fire extinguisher and is fully visible to Billy Ray Cyrus, priest.
Yeah.
Fuck me. So when they're doing the seance and the grandpa talks, the boyfriend says,
"That's the voice of your grandpa?"
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. Yes, okay, the moment in the seance where they go to, the mother's like, "Timmy, are you okay?" And a troll lifts its head up instead. I still don't get what the fuck that was about, but it was pretty creepy. It got me.
Yeah, I thought Timmy was a troll for a second there, but he wasn't.
Yeah. The dad had a hilarious way of running upstairs. He has to run upstairs, and he just does so with all the physicality of a madman.
Of a dad.
All right, my final thing is I will say, in this movie's favour, the final moment, and it's baffling, if they're trying to make a comedy or any kind of movie, it's baffling you end on this. I found it really affecting when the kid's watching his mum get eaten. I thought that was like his best acting moment in the film, is when he's just like, "Mommy, they're eating my mummy." Like, the dialogue is still dreadful, but he sold it. I was kind of on board with him, and it was sad and a rough way to end your movie.
Yeah, and it looked gross.
It did look gross. They had like a weird vegetable stand-in for the mum, which still had breasts, which was it was obscene.
Italians.
And that's really Italians indeed. But it's also distressing, the idea that your caregiver, your mum, is now just a crude joke by an Italian film man.
Yeah,
that's a troubling idea.
It definitely is, and I feel like I should have not just said Italians. I mean Italian exploitation directors specifically.
They're all like that. They're all Italian. They're all exploitation directors. If you go over there, you met Ellen. Very much got the personality of an exploitation filmmaker of the 1980s. Everyone says that about her.
She's a Venn diagram, just a circle.
That's about it for us. We did not ask the OG team. Sorry about that, OG team.
Whoops, sorry.
Whoopsie daisy. Next time. Let's do the one better thing. The one better thing.
For me, it would be 1992's Peter Jackson's Brain Dead. Or Dead Alive. Yeah. About a man called Lionel, whose mother gets bitten by a rat monkey hybrid not long after he starts courting Paquita and tries to carry on as if everything's normal and things her decline and literal deterioration.
Flooding
in all
back
kinds
to me
of scrapes.
You're talking about this.
Yeah. And it is insanely gory, extremely funny, in a way that I think Taika Waititi has made quite like New Zealand quite famous for now. I think the same kind of button down irreverence, and it's everything that I think this film hoped to be. It's truly amazing. If you haven't seen it by now, please watch it.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a sight to behold.
It really is, and it's just a bizarre sort of early sort of indication of where Peter Jackson's career was going to go in terms of his fondness for excess and big scale, because my god, the climax of that movie is just ambitious beyond belief.
Yeah.
It's immense. It really is immense.
Oh boy.
And there's every trick under the sun being used in it.
Yeah.
For my one better thing, I'm going to recommend a Bruno Mattei movie that fucking Fiaccio, what's his name?
Dirk Strongly.
Dirk Strongly. That Brit man fucking wrote. And Bruno Mattei directed, and I'm going to recommend Hell of the Living Dead.
Okay.
The poster for which I'll just quickly share with you. It's pretty great, and really bespeaks the effort that they put into this movie. Yeah, sort of attempt to cash in. There were a bunch of terrible zombie movies of the 1980s in the wake of Dawn of the Dead, of which this is very, very obvious a rip-off of.
Yeah.
Just scene for scene in some instances, but it's got terrible acting, an awful dub job. Really cheap effects. It's just cheesy and gloriously bad. And Rats, Night of Terror is also that, and yet also is kind of an affecting post-apocalypse movie in a way that kind of works. The final image really stays with you, but it does also still have terrible acting and special effects and all the things that you'd hope for. So yeah, if you're looking for a way into this dark and disturbing world, that or anything by Franco Nero will pretty much do you right.
You slagged. Go on.
Slags. And that'll do it. That'll do for the one better thing. The one better thing.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, Paul. How can people find out about the newly renewed and refreshed and revitalized one good thing?
Thank you so much for everybody's patience.
Yeah.
Whilst I took some much needed time off, we're back. We're bigger than ever. My balls are already out, and they're not going to go back in. Not even if you ask. So, thanks again to everyone for listening. We have Twitter and Facebook, OGT Pod. You can send us an email at gmail@ogtpod@gmail.com. We've had some really lovely ones recently. We also have a Patreon where for as little as $1 a month you can get exclusive content, access to content that is exclusive. We are allowing you access to. And we have recorded the D&D roulette. That we promised after reaching $75 milestone. It turned out really fucking well.
Oh my god!
Just in the process of editing. Cannot wait to share this with everybody. Maybe even put a little teaser at the end of an episode soon, just to show you non-patrons what you're missing out on. We have merch available, which is fantastic, and I imagine, and just a little thank you for everybody who's been amazing so far.
One last note I'd like to end on is that I would like to express enormous gratitude for Katie Maiden, Ellen Graham, and Jen Blundell, who all filled in for the last couple of weeks on the OGT and on the Patreon. It was really fantastic. And yeah, thank you all very much for filling in for Goodman's hefty shoes and shorts.
They're so much better than me is the problem.
Just stuff in those shorts.
I'll do what I can.
Do what you can, and we've all got something to aspire to now. Do you want to announce the change of days?
Oh, yes. Good point. So after this episode, which will be released on the usual Tuesday. Usual Tuesday. It's we have decided to move the episode release date back one to Wednesday. It just suits my schedule a little bit more. It means the editing process can be a little more stress-free, and it keeps these episodes coming out more sounding like I've got my balls out as promised. So thanks again for all your patience and understanding, and for being awesome, and keep living the OGT lifestyle every Wednesday now.
And thank each and every one of you for just doing whatever it is you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Sitting on a bus, flicking your balls, kicking a dog. Thanks for all of it.
Specifically for that, thanks guys, you're heroes.
I'm Paul Hero.
I'm the hero of Paul's.
And remember, the one good thing about Trolls 2 is hospitality.